popping up. All right, and we're back.
We're live.
Thanks for
We're
sticking with us,
live.
y'all. What were we just talking about before we came back?
I think we were talking about your delivery job or something
Yeah.
of that nature. Yeah, I don't even remember, honestly.
I don't remember. We were talking about something during the break. Now, apparently
we should have just clicked back in immediately. No.
Yeah, I should have just not even warned you I was going to start recording again. Oh, but speaking of recording and all that, we did mention during the break that our ultimate goal is to do this in person.
Yeah, that's my goal from the jump. I wanted to do it. I feel like, hey, I'll wear a mask the whole time if that makes you comfortable. Is it because of COVID that you're nervous, or?
No, I mean, not me, because I'm, my wife more. She's still like, she's not as bad as my stepmom. My stepmom won't let anybody come over.
My mom is like,
she's like, we haven't seen them for almost a year now, it feels like, because she won't let anybody come into the house because of COVID.
Your dad.
My wife is a little bit less as strict, because she knows that there's just exceptions but for something like this, she's like, is it really necessary yet? So there's that, and then the other part is Melody. I feel like, not that we be interrupted, because that's going to happen either way. But if we did it in my office, on Sundays work because my wife is at work. But if we're doing it in my office in person, then my wife would feel more like I'm not paying attention to Melody, because she would think that even though it wouldn't be, she would feel like my focus is on us doing our podcast and not.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, time flies when we're talking, honestly. I can't believe before the break we were talking for 37 minutes. That's insane to me. I don't know if all of that was recorded, but...
No, because we talked for almost 10 minutes before we started recording. But I think, yeah, I mean, obviously we'll see what the future holds. Try to keep this Skype thing as temporary as we can, because it is, technology. There are going to be glitches and connection issues, and
yeah.
Once we're still using this, hopefully, I think going forward, the more we start going forward, we can just connect and start recording.
Yeah. I don't want to get too into all the logistics of what do you believe about Corona, but I do have a question. Do you think that
I farted?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
What do you say?
Excuse me, I farted.
Oh my gosh, she said I farted? Yes. I love her. She's now my favorite. Oh my god.
And that's my body.
That was golden. Wow. I love her. She's amazing. Can we be best friends, Melody? Do you want to be best friends?
So
no, she doesn't.
The very few people that watched the show before it became this, which I think this is obviously going to be much more popular, I think. But there was a few people. She did make a couple cameos. But for those that are watching for the first time and going to be joining us, this is Melody. Say hi.
She is not interested in fame.
She's shy, but believe it or not, once we keep doing this, and if she'll get comfortable, she knows cameras. She's comfortable with cameras. She likes going back and watching herself. I think she's definitely going to be doing, when she gets older.
My friend's daughter is 5, and she makes TikToks. She's a TikToker. She can lip sync perfectly. She's 5. She literally just started kindergarten. It's insane. And when you meet this kid in person, that's what I love about today's kids, is they're so eccentric.
Yeah.
They're so like just themselves. I mean, I guess kids always are, but like it's a next
But
level.
now everybody can see that because, you know, kids get their YouTube channels and TikTok or
Yeah.
my wife had talked about, because sometimes she'll just do stuff and she's like, we should just record it all the time and like put her on YouTube. Here, go get your iPad or something. We're still talking. But I was like, I don't want, you know, I want her to be old enough to want to do that, and you know, where it's like
Yeah.
choice,
Yeah.
and we're
Like,
still, you know, obviously they're kids, so it's a minor, and you're still kind of doing everything, making sure it's because I don't know, have you ever heard of Ryan's Toys or Ryan's Review or
yeah.
whatever it's now?
Yeah.
That all started because he requested it. He saw other kids on YouTube and asked his mom, "Can why am I not on YouTube?" So they kind of started that, and look what it's become. But
I know. I saw he
like
has
Casey
like branded toys in Walmart.
Casey Neistat won't show his daughter's face on camera. And when people ask him why and stuff, he's like, because she doesn't have a choice. I don't want to be one of those parents where like, hey, here's my daughter, and like, where she doesn't understand what's going on, and it's not her choice to be on camera.
That's true. That's like.
So I was like, I get that. That's where I'm kind of. I mean, obviously I have her on camera, but as far as like letting her do anything like that, I don't want to be one of those parents where it's like, here, become a star for me, you know, like.
Yeah, like pushing off your.
Right.
I know what you mean. I can't figure out a word for it, but I think it's interesting. Like some parents pierce their kids' ears like fresh out the womb, and then there's like people out here who are grown adults like who've never had their ears pierced just because they let the kid choose. I mean,
yeah,
like me, I think I got my ears pierced when I was a baby. It's not even because you know it's hard. Like babies are like, oh.
Yeah, because once they do the first one.
So one of mine, I think it's this one, is higher than the other, but I never wear earrings anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's an interesting decision. I always think like what parents choose to do when they have kids, because a lot of the times it's like my parents did this, so I'm not going to do that. Do you feel like that's how it was when you had your kids? When you became a parent?
No, for me, and I think it's for my wife too. It's my struggle, especially like with my son, and I don't, God knows how like it's gonna be when Melody gets older and stuff. But is and it is weird because when he was younger, we related a lot more because he's very similar to how I was when I was a kid. But now, like he's in his room all day playing video games and in this whole other world that I don't understand because I was never. I mean, they came out with Nintendo and stuff when I was about his age.
Yeah.
For that, we had Atari, but even then, I was never that into video games. I would play them a little bit here and there, but I didn't get like addicted. Like my addiction came into. You look like the Terminator. My addiction came into music. So sometimes I have to remind myself where like I get frustrated because I don't understand why, I have to remind him 100 times to do this, or tell him every day to take out the trash or his responsibilities. Where like when I was a kid, I was just on it. You didn't have to tell me twice.
I think parents today are more lenient.
But it's a whole different world, and like, but I have to remind myself, it's like the way he is with video games even at his age or when he was younger is exactly how it was with music. So
do you play any instruments? I feel like you play the guitar.
I used to play bass. I used to play bass. Back in the day, I was a bass player for a band in Austin. And so I did that. We did that for like a few years. And then I played it a couple other times for some other people, but I never really got in any other bands. And in high school, I was a band geek. I played trumpet in concert band. I played trombone in jazz band, and I played not French horn. What was the other one?
I know what you're talking about. I played the trumpet in the 5th grade. Okay, so in the 5th grade, I played the trumpet, and then I like was failing math because like to this day I still don't really know how to divide. I know it's kind of embarrassing, but like I can. It's just a very intricate process. And my boyfriend makes fun of me all the time because it takes me a long time because the way I do math is like I add or I subtract. So I add this plus this and I put that together. It's like a whole process. But anyways, so I almost failed math and my mom decided not to let me be in band the next year. And I'm really sad. Like, I will buy a trumpet one day and torture everyone just because of that reason.
I did, I was in band all the way up to my senior year, and then our director got fired for sleeping with a student. And then, even in small town Texas, that stuff happens. It's crazy.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was thinking that, were you born in Texas?
Yeah.
And then you were there for a while, right?
I moved to Florida in 2012.
All that before then you were in Texas?
Name town that nobody's ever heard of. And then my mom called it the armpit capital of the world. It's like all the way down in Texas. Like there was like beaches, but it was really where the water came, and it was just all seashells. It's not like sand and stuff. They weren't nice beaches. But it's all the way down off the water.
You weren't frolicking in the sand.
And it's just a small coastal town that's there. It used to be, how we ended up there is because his dad was in the seafood shrimping business, and he owned seafood plants.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad got into that after when he was in college, and so he's done that for the last umpteenth years.
Does your dad live in Florida? I thought he lived in Florida.
That's what brought me to Florida. So I grew up in town after high school. I stayed there for a little bit and then moved to Austin for college. I stayed in Austin for 12 years, 13 years. And then at that time, my dad had moved here to Clearwater. And he was in Galveston, but he moved. And then
where's Galveston? Where's that?
It's off the coast, about 30 minutes from Houston.
Oh, that's in Texas. I knew it sounded like Texas. I'm like, I don't think that's a Florida thing.
So he moved here, and it's like, and at that time I needed to change. I had nothing holding me in Austin except my house, but I had didn't have a relationship, didn't have anything. So it's like I needed to change. So I got a new job, sold my house, I moved to Florida, and since then it's like
that's your Sagittarius right there. That's the Sagittarius showing.
And that's, doing this show and everything else like that has kind of made me kind of revisit those feelings because it was so anxious for me because I'm an introvert. I don't usually kind of put myself out there or do drastic changes all at once like that. Like I try to, if I know if the big change is coming, I have to pace it out step by step because if it all happens at once too fast, I get overwhelmed.
I know, that's what drives me insane. I'm literally like, okay, this.
So there are sometimes, there are sometimes like even recently where like text me oh, let's do 2 episodes a week. I'm like, whoa.
I know when you're like, I want to take it. Sorry guys, I know I'm yelling. I'm just super excited. I'm like, well, I think we should do 2 episodes a week.
It's out of
and you're like,
just doing a podcast and the video on YouTube and everything and all these social media. Like it's putting me out there that out of my comfort zone. But when I do things like that, the rewards always. I'm sorry, am I boring you?
No,
I
told you. You literally wake me up every single morning at the crack of dawn.
That's because
crack of dawn. This is what I hear. Radio, because that's your ringtone now.
Oh,
and then I'm like, oh my God, I literally just closed my eyes. Can I sleep? Can I? Because
I get up so early.
And I stay up
things
late.
are going through my head. I'm like, I have to text before I rave. I'm like, oh, she'll get it when she wakes up. Like, I didn't. I'm waking you up. Turn your ringer off. Like, you're gonna.
I can't. I don't know.
You're gonna.
Just like.
But like when I do get out of my comfort zone and push myself, the rewards are always.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I have family that still are hoping one day I'll move back to Texas.
Do you think you will?
Unlikely. Like my now,
you like
this is why I tell them, I'm happy in Florida. I like Florida. It's got a bad rap, but I'm happy here, and the changes, and even now, like I've been here since 2012. God, almost 8 years. Jesus.
This next year will be 10 years for me.
But since the day I moved here and up to now, and hopefully going forward, like it's constantly like I am supposed to be here because things happen. Like I would have never met my wife. I would have never had my kids. I would have never, you know, anything had I not just made a drastic
choice.
change and moved to Florida.
I like doing stuff just like off the rip. I like thinking something and then doing it. That's kind of my whole vibe. I'm just like I drove to Ohio a couple months ago just to do it, just to go because my niece.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, my niece and my nephews were up there. They're both fresh out the womb. One of my nephews is turning 1, and I hadn't seen him yet. So I was like, "Let's go!" And it was fun. It was fun. Have you ever driven like super far by yourself when you moved here? Yeah.
And I've ridden my motorcycle to Texas and back.
Oh, that's a good story.
And
Good story.
From Texas to Florida and back. Actually, that trip, I rode my bike from Austin to Clearwater, and that's one of the trips that made me want to move to Florida because my dad had just moved to Florida, so I rode over.
Do you still have your bike? I think you sold
God,
it, right?
I miss it. I would never get a chance to ride it and do stuff with it right now with kids and stuff anyway.
Yeah. That's gonna be your empty nester thing. You're gonna get another bike.
You know, or at least when Melody gets older.
Mm-hmm.
But like me and my wife, she loved it too. Like we would, when Drew was older and we didn't have Melody, you know, I would say older, like 5 or 6. It was easy to like have somebody come over and watch him or take him a babysitter, and then we'd go back home, jump on the bike, ride somewhere, have dinner, you know, ride around, come back. I mean, she
living the life.
So she's used to motorcycles and scooters and all that stuff from the Philippines. So that's all they pretty much have.
That's an interesting topic too. We could talk about your guys' trip, the last one you went on, because I saw some of the vlogs and it looked pretty interesting.
Oh God, that was a few years ago. Yeah, and that was pretty much one of the last times I went to Texas to visit my family. I need to do it again, but things keep. We actually had a trip planned this year before the July, and then COVID.
Yeah. COVID. Do you feel like, I mean, I know I feel this way, but like this time is giving you an opportunity to do stuff that you never would have done? Like maybe you wouldn't have had time for, or
yeah, like it's weird that you mean like COVID. It just kind of it's made me kind of do things, and then that I thought I wouldn't do like even again, like starting a new YouTube channel or whatever after vlogging. Like I didn't think I was going to do that again.
I know it was kind of unexpected.
I didn't think I was going to start YouTube again. And even like we just recently moved. Like I didn't sell our house and buy a new house and move. And that was fast too. In a lot of weird ways, that would have never happened if it wasn't for COVID. Because the chain of events, it was because of COVID, we all got sent to work from home, and now I only work from home. But at that time, it was now we're just super busy all day, every day. But at the time, there was a lot of breaks in kind of in between where you could do I could be doing work, but I could be like watching a YouTube video or whatever else while I was working because I was at home. And I know you've heard me talk about in the past when we worked together, Dave Ramsey. Like I was watching his stuff, like, getting motivated to like start attacking my debt, and really the only debt we had was that house. And that's what made me go back to delivering pizzas. I was like, I'll go back to delivering pizzas, and you just dump all that money on the house and pay off the house.
Okay.
And
I remember you were doing.
So I started that, and then at the time, Furman, I needed the extra cash because Furman didn't pay anything.
Yikes.
But I mean, that's true. But
I honestly didn't put in effort, so I can't say I was gypped or anything because I was just.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I was gypped, but
I was chilling.
there are times where it's hard to.
I miss them. I miss them a lot.
I miss the people.
Yeah.
But I've been back and forth to that job so many times that. Oh, should we keep that in or edit that out?
Oh my god! What a crazy!
That's gonna be your call. But anyway, that led me to going back to Domino's to deliver pizza. I'm just gonna go right back. Like.
Okay, yeah. Let's crop that boy out. Okay.
You want to crop that out?
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's comedy gold. Like,
we'll ask him. We'll see what he wants. He's pretty confident. Maybe he.
Hey, yeah. Let me know.
Okay.
But so I went back to delivering pizzas, and that time I went back to Domino's to just dump all the money. But then as soon as I started doing that, I told my wife, like, we were always just kind of not 100% happy with that house. It was small, and we were trying to make it work, but and what kept us there is we owed so little on it. And then I told my wife, I was like, if I'm going to be doing all this extra work trying to pay off a house early, I'd rather it be a house that we're comfortable in.
Yeah.
So then we started the process of looking at what it'd take to sell the house and move, and we did. And so, kind of going back, that would have never, had I not, because of COVID, got sent to work from home and had time to watch Dave Ramsey to get motivated to get a second job and all that, that would have never happened. So because of COVID, we have a nice new house.
Shout out Tori.
And then shout out Tori. Thank you, brother.
If you need a realtor, Tori's your guy.
Yeah, and he worked his behind off on that deal, and you could just tell how passionate he is about real estate. But
he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, because of that, got me this home office, which gave me more space to work and multitask while I'm working my day job. And that started me. I stopped watching videos. I couldn't, visually watch something and do my job. So I started listening to all my old records and CDs and music on iTunes and checking out SoundCloud. And that's what it's like. I wanted to start something that was kind of centered around. That's what brought up radio and RaNdOmNeSs and made me create the channel, and here we are. And none of that would happen in COVID.
I think it's one of those, like, I don't know if you say yin and yang. Is it yin or yang? Anyways, the good and the bad and the good, It's one of those situations. You could look at it like, oh, poop your pants mentality, which is like the David Goggins thing, which I love David Goggins. But it's like, the world's against me. Everything's against me. Da, 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 da. Or you can look at it like, okay, I like going out on the weekends. Now, I can't. What am I going to do with this time? Oh, maybe get up at 8 a.m. and record a podcast. Like, if I went out, if this was regular time and I went out last night, you might not have the same. No, you probably would, because I'm very good at bouncing back. But it's like it gives you time to do something else, something different, and focus. Honestly, now's the perfect time to reinvent yourself. Almost, you don't see people for 6 months at a time.
My thing with COVID is I understand, like, they're wearing the mask and everything else and trying to limit the spread. But I don't personally, and I might sound like an idiot saying this, and I'm no doctor, but I don't think we're going to stop the spread. I think at this point it's a matter of handling the virus, handling the spread, trying to limit it and everything. But COVID's not going to go away. It's not going to stop. It's our reality now.
Yeah, it's kind of like they've been wearing masks in China for how long? It's just how it is. There's no point. It's not it shouldn't be a political belief.
It shouldn't be a political thing. It's like everything nowadays.
It's like this. I'm Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm like,
exactly. It's ridiculous. It's like,
some people.
I was thinking that too. It's like, would we be having the same political argument if, it was just now they were making laws? I mean, obviously there are laws now and people just abide by them, rather not whatever side you're on.
Like seatbelt.
About
Seatbelt is the
seatbelt.
perfect
That's exactly
example.
what I was gonna say. You read my mind. If we were just now forcing people to wear seatbelts, would it be the same Republican saying you can't tell me to wear a seatbelt? It's my right.
But I'm sure that's what it was like in the beginning. I don't know. Were you
like?
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
But there's still.
I'm old enough to remember not being required to wear a seatbelt, even being a kid, not being able to
And your mom was just
like in the back seat, just standing up, jumping up, There was no. I don't.
Dang, why did you just date yourself? Mark is old, everyone.
I am what I am.
Man.
I feel old, but I don't. I'm happy enough to say I don't think I look old.
No. People were looking at our covers, like, because, I mean, as soon as I finished our podcast cover, I was like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And they're like, he looks really young. How old is he? How old are you? Like 40? 30?
November, I'll be 41.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, that's still young to me. Honestly, I think 70-year-olds are middle age. Like, that's middle age for me. My grandpa's.
I'm 40. Mentally, I forget I'm 40. I feel like maybe in my 30s. Sometimes I think I still remember, like, I feel like I'm in my 20s. But physically, I feel my age.
Yeah.
Like, my knee hurts, my back hurts, all that.
My leg.
All that kind of crap. But then, yeah, I get a lot of people that, until I say something about either, like, my son, 13-year-old son, or say something about when I was in college in the 90s or something like that, then people are like, wait, how old are you? Like,
how old are you? Yeah. I think this is a good thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
Baby driver.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else about the movie the soundtrack. Yeah, the soundtrack was 30 songs. Awesome soundtrack. $20 though, but well worth it.
He paid for the soundtrack, guys.
I did.
He paid for it. I was like, there's playlists on YouTube, Mike. You can listen to the playlist.
I'm an Apple person and iTunes person, and it wasn't only like 4 songs were on Apple Music. Because of, I guess, countries and copyrights and all that stuff that wasn't available unless you purchased it. So I was like, okay, and I was expecting the regular $9.99. I'm like, $19.99. I was like, well, I guess I have to.
There's so many songs, I guess.
I have to keep listening to I told you I'm a music person, so I've just been listening to the soundtrack and.
Yeah, I have YouTube Premium, which I love.
How much is that?
It's $15. But that also includes like ad blockers on YouTube and everything. Everything's included in that.
Yeah, $9.99 for Apple Music. I don't have ads, and I have millions and billions of songs to listen to now.
No, but I mean, like when you're watching videos, like if you're watching, like I love Joe Rogan podcasts. I got addicted to Joe Rogan this week, and they're long. Some of them are like 3 hours long. But no ads. No ads. When I watch my David Goggins videos. No ads.
Ads don't bother me. Ads don't bother me. Like, so if the worst that I have to do is like watch a 30-second ad or listen to one on SoundCloud or whatever to not pay for the service, and that's how they're gonna kind of get their money, I'm fine with that. Like even watching normal TV, ads don't bother me. It does kind of irritate me.
I don't watch TV.
I don't either, but I'm like even talking about Hulu. Like it does bother me a little bit that I'm paying for
Hulu. Bothers me.
I still have to watch ads. Like what is that? I'm already paying for it, and I still have to watch ads.
I don't pay for it. Deneen gave me her password like a year ago. Deneen used to be our manager.
So you're one of those.
Yeah, she gave me her password, and she's like, "Raven, just watch it." I dog sit for her sometimes, and the last. No. Just because she's my friend. We're really close. I love her. She's amazing. But I dog sit for her sometimes, and I watch Hulu over there. And the last thing that was watched was the last thing I watched like a month ago. So I'm like, she never uses it.
Yeah.
But the commercials drive me insane because they have some good shows on there.
It's like there shouldn't be commercials. And the only time, usually, if I'm watching YouTube, I'm the type of person I let the ads play because that's how the person that content created that gets some money. So I'm a firm believer everybody should be able to get something back from their work. It's fine when it's free and you don't want to pay for it, or financially maybe you can't support them. That's understandable. But if you can, and the most I have to do is sit through 30 seconds.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't send all these people money or buy all their shirts as much as I want to support them. So if I have to sit through 30 seconds so they get a little bit of something, I'll do that. If it's a 3-minute ad, no. As soon as you can hit skip, I'm skipping that. That's way too long.
It's like, are
They're
you
playing 3-minute ads on a 2-minute video. It's like, really? That ad
when they have like whole YouTube videos, like those scams. Do you want to know how to be a successful entrepreneur? Well, just do this, this, this. The link is in. I'm like, no, I don't.
You know what tripped me out is when I rented that movie on YouTube. I was like, I think it was like $4, $5, which is cheap you got it for 48 hours. I never got a chance to rewatch it. And I was expecting to enter my credit card and all that, but it's like, clicked rent, told me
through iTunes, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that. It took me. I kept for days. I'm like, what card are they charging? Like, are they after I'm done? Just 5 more minutes. Oh, thank you. You can sit there and play. I didn't know that, so I was so worried that it was tied to an old account that didn't have money in it. It was going to overdraft or something. Like, what card are they charging? Because it's just like, okay, here's your movie, but it's through iTunes, which is super convenient for me.
Do you have Apple Pay? Do you use Apple Pay?
No,
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so like you hold up your phone and all that kind of stuff. I don't like that idea.
I love it. So
I like here's my card with a chip in it. I feel more confident.
My tripod fell. That was creepy. I think there's a ghost here. I'm just saying. We'll get into that another day, but I feel like there's a ghost. I love it. The other day, I'm like addicted to Subway. I go like once a week, and I don't know why. It was random. I actually used to work at Subway. But like within the past few months, I've gotten addicted to Subway. I think it started when I was vegetarian, which was like a 2-month thing. But I went on Wednesday, I think, and I didn't have my card. And Apple Pay saved me. Because I would have been that person that's like, I don't have a card. But I had Apple Pay, so I was dead.
I don't know. The security makes me worry, so.
If someone wants to steal my $3.52 in my bank account, go for it.
Yeah, but you got to think, I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, what are they going to take? But they could possibly overdraft my account. But it's like, I think long term, like what happens when the day where there's a lot of money in there and all my stuff's still out there on the web, or in the cloud.
True.
Whatever.
You're one of those.
I am. I'm old. Technology scares me.
Oh my.
Well, any other thing about the movie you want to mention? I think we're getting to our time limit.
Yeah. Are we gonna talk about what next week has in store, or are we just gonna spring it on them? You wanna give them a little hint?
That's good. I was meant to mention that. Yeah, like anybody listening or watching, as y'all have ideas, definitely let us know.
In the comments, you can tweet us.
Yes.
At TheRaveWave at.
If you're an artist, an author, something like that, by all means, let us know. Or if you just have something in mind that you think we should check out, let us know.
We have our business email up on some of our profiles. Did you put it on Twitter?
No. I ran out of space.
Me too. But we'll have a pinned tweet. We can do that.
We can definitely get all of it. Multiple. Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. YouTube.
We're open to anything and everything.
So definitely let us know.
Yeah.
But on that thought, I don't know. It's up to you. That one. So here's how it works. Let's explain that real quick. How we're gonna keep random, the whole randomness aspect of the show random, is we'll take turns. Her and I are gonna take turns on getting the choice on what we talk about. Mm-hmm. And when we have the choice, you choose music, movie, books, or whatever. So that it rotates. It's not like we're constantly talking about one
topic or one, like it's not old Mark, young Raven.
Yeah. So,
1 and 1.
this
He
first
picks
episode
one, I pick one. Back
was
and forth.
my choice. So next week is hers. So I'll leave it up. Next episode 2 was your choice.
Maybe we should
try-
say it. So, if someone wants to read it, they can read it with us since we're going to be reading it this next week.
Okay. It's your choice. Your call.
We're reading The Alchemist.
Oh, and mine's back there by my reading spot.
And this cover, I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. But The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho? Where's the thing? Paulo Coelho. We'll link it.
Yeah.
We should link it in case anyone wants to. But anyways, this was good. I think this was successful. I knew we would be able to ramble for hours because we just, me and you are the people that never stop talking.
Exactly.
So it's fun. It's fun. I like it. I love it. I can't wait till we have some guests on. I have people that are already asking me to be on, and we might be filming in some secret locations too. I haven't even talked to you about that. So
yeah. All right.
All right.
I'm down.
Out?
Also, I would be interested in. I know we probably talked about Baby Driver maybe 50% of this episode or less, but that's fine. We're still kind of getting going with the whole show, but let us know your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, give us feedback. This is our first episode. Obviously, we're not gonna, fine tune it to exactly what you say, but we'll definitely, take into consideration.
We'll keep things natural over here on the radio and RaNdOmNeSs, and but it definitely will obviously evolve and we'll get our rhythm. But I would be interested in other people's thoughts on Baby Driver, the movie.
Yes, please.
Maybe
if you've seen it before, if you watch it, this video is going to be up for the rest of eternity. So 5 years from now, you watch it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know how it held up,
if it aged well.
2020, 27, let us know how it held up.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, until then, we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Oh, we don't have a sign off.
We don't have an outro yet, but next week we'll have outro.
You know what could happen too is as we go forward, maybe sooner or later something will happen. We'll make it some phrase or something. We'll be like, that's it. That's our outro. And from then on, we'll use it for our outro.
I farted. That could be our outro.
I can clip that out and put that at the end of every episode.
Until then, I farted.
Yeah. Until then, I farted. Excuse me.
All right, y'all. We love you.
Y'all.
Peace.
Peace.